Hey, Scott Spears along with you. Another great episode of Scott Spears Now, and as you can see, we are in the Halloween mood here.
Absolutely.
Our orange and black balloons. We got a pumpkin right here on the table. It is Halloween. This is the Spooktacular here on Scott Spears Now. And who else would I bring along for the big Spooktacular? He is the man who has authored books right here. A golden voice, Ted Williams. Look at that. It's a great book. Wearing that same jacket on the cover that he has on right now. That very same jacket. He has been on television. He has been on radio. His voice is golden, but his attitude, his presence, and his talent are absolutely perfect.
I love
Spot
this
on.
man. I love him.
The man with the golden voice, Ted Williams. Ted, here we go.
Happy Halloween to everybody. For those of you that exist with all those ghosts and goblins and all that thing that pops on. My fondest memory, Scotty,
Yes.
of Halloween was, I know it's going to sound kind of crazy, but when everybody was warned that they were putting razor blades in apples and things like
Candy.
that. Yeah, they just turned me off of that idea, and so it's not a fond memory, but it's something that kind of made you think about.
As a child, did you go out trick-or-treating?
Yes, my father didn't believe in, of course, Jehovah's Witness, but yes, I looked forward to it, man. My costumes, my mom was cool on that, until they started making those rubber masks. That's when I wanted one, but those were like $45 to $100 for one of those, what is his name, Lugosi?
Oh, Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi mask. I wanted a Dracula mask. Yeah.
Now, as a child, so was Dracula the costume you most wanted to be?
I most wanted to be Dracula, yeah.
When I was a kid, I was the Joker one year, and I remember my mother went to great extents to make that costume. Mothers get into that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Mothers love Halloween.
That's right. I was Superman, and I got a friend of mine who was the Hulk, and so I had a little cape and all. This mother grabbed my cape and choked me half to death and slung me around, and I busted my head. That's
Happy Halloween.
The Hulk whipped Superman's butt. Yeah.
Now, do you carve pumpkins on Halloween?
No. I lived in the project, and you didn't display them in your windows or anything like that. No. But really? I love pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds are very good. Yeah. Now, I think what you're supposed to do is take the pumpkin seeds out, and then you put them in the oven, and then I believe you put salt and butter on them.
Okay, is that the preparation for?
That's my understanding.
Okay, well, I love them. And there's only one brand name that I love the most. Now, they have David's, and various others, but there's one, K-A-R-S, Cars. They got the best pumpkin seeds, man, yeah.
Delicious.
I'm not promoting Cars, but they got some damn good ones.
You know what I was thinking about? Halloween is so synonymous with movies. What is your favorite scary movie?
Chucky.
Chucky?
Yeah.
That little red-haired doll.
And I always holler, no matter where I see it at, whether it's television or big screen or whatever, I'm always hollering, you can't kick Chucky's ass. You let that little doll run up on you, No, I just want a night with Chucky.
Well, maybe because Chucky is timeless, you can make a movie with him at some point. The Golden Voice versus Chucky.
Boy, that would be a good one.
That'd be a knockdown drag. Just
Chucky,
take care of Chucky.
Come in, Chucky.
Now,
I did love The Exorcist as well.
Now, Ted, The Exorcist was a tremendous film.
Do you know when it came to New York? It was back then, 42nd Street, as you know, 42nd and Broadway and all that, Times Square. It cost $4 to see that. I, as a child. When was that out? 74, 73?
Probably 70s, early 70s.
Okay. I, as a child, I wasn't a child, but yeah, I was like 13, 14, teenager, went to see it 9 times. And every time, paying $4, I even saved my money. See, in my neighborhood, a lot of families, I was a single, I come from a 2-parent household, but I was the only child, okay? I had money. My friends couldn't go to Broadway and see that, when it first run. I would save my money and take 3 of my friends, as I'm from Brooklyn, every day on the subway. We take that 45-minute ride up to Manhattan, 42nd Street. I would take a different set of 3 friends to go see this over that period of 9 times that I saw it. And each time I looked at it, when that one scene came, when her head spinned around, and that 360 and all that. That was worth the money itself. Just to watch them. I'd be like looking in the movies and I'd look back at them like this, you know, put my eyes, you know, cut them over to them just to see that. And every time I'd see everybody's experience. And then when they got back in the neighborhood, knowing that there were other kids that didn't see it yet or couldn't afford to go see it, they'd be telling them about it. And that brought joy to me. I love to share, no matter what. I love to share. And that was my part of sharing the faith.
What about Psycho? I read recently that Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, is the number one Halloween movie.
Is that right? I've never seen it.
Never seen the bathroom scene?
Oh yeah.
The shower?
I've heard of that, yeah.
I guess the shower is in the bathroom, isn't it?
Yeah, in the shower, yeah.
That is, I forget what the actress's name was, but I hear that is one of the scariest scenes in movie history, and I have purposely avoided that movie for many years because people say after seeing that scene, they will not go in the shower anymore.
Is that right?
It's a scary. Alfred Hitchcock was a scary guy.
The Birds was my thing.
Tippi Hedren.
Yeah. Oh, that was horrible.
Now we've got something we've got to get to here that isn't necessarily Halloween, although it could be. People realize that I have been on a trek. I've been on a goal. I've had a.
I know where you're going with
I
this.
know, and it's right here. People think I don't really have it.
Yeah.
The Geraldo Journal.
The Geraldo
right
Journal.
Here. The Geraldo
Journal over it.
I have a journal, and I have been keeping this journal since the 16th of September, 2021.
The Geraldo Journal.
And Geraldo has yet to acquiesce to coming on my show.
Yeah.
But this does not deter me.
Right.
Because what is the number one rule in broadcasting, Ted, to get a guest? Begins with a P.
Persistence.
Persistence, of course. So Geraldo, it's okay that you have not.
Geraldo, you ought to be ashamed.
Well, here's Ted. Because he's got the golden voice.
Now listen, let me tell you something. I called those people. I got a hold of a producer's assistant or someone, and when he threw my name over there, he said, "Oh, I know who you are. Blah 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 blah. You're from New York, aren't you?" Yeah, we got into that conversation. But he said, "Geraldo's team would love to have you on." I immediately threw it back to, I want you on WWGH, the Scott Spears show, and we'll trade off that way. Never heard nothing else about it.
Ted, look in the camera right there. You're
absolutely.
talking to Geraldo. We're going to send this right up to that WTM and those weasels up there. We're going to send this right up to them. You've been on my show. Phil Donahue and
the list
Mary Ellen
goes
Withrow
on.
And B. Arthur. We were just talking
Governors,
about that.
Politicians of all sorts.
Talk to Geraldo about
Geraldo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say something. I used to look like you at one time. I am Puerto Rican. From a Puerto Rican brother, man. Come on the Scott Spears show. But I looked at you for a long time when you were with ABC. What was his name? I remember him. You know who I'm talking about on the ABC News team. I don't think you would know, but it's a New York thing. Oh, Bill Butel. You ever heard of him?
I've heard of Bill Butel.
Yeah. And
he used to sell kerosene.
Oh, here in Marion?
Yeah, he used to sell Bill Butel.
Bill Butel was an anchor for ABC News in New York. And Geraldo had a segment on there. Your brother, I love him as well, Mysteries and Scandals.
Great.
That great show. Geraldo, make it your business to come out of the Cleveland area, just to come here on the Marion area, or we will set up a Skype or a Zoom of some sorts. We want you here in Marion. Now, if you can't do that, the hell with you.
We'll come to Cleveland.
Yeah, we'll go to Cleveland.
We'll
there
go to
you go.
Streets of Cleveland. Why not?
Oh, yeah. I used to live in Cleveland. I worked at WJMO in Cleveland. And WZAK in Cleveland. So I'm familiar. I'm not a Browns fan, but I'll make it up to Cleveland. Matter of fact, you know what, Scotty? Everybody that I've asked that don a Cleveland Browns jersey or shirt or whatever, they always think I'm from Cleveland. They don't never say anything. Cleveland really covered my story heavy.
They did.
Media-wise. Because everybody said, "You're from Columbus?" Oh, I tell them, no, Brooklyn, New York originally, but yes, I'm a Buckeye man. And they're like, but we've seen your story heavy in Cleveland.
Oh, a bit. Now listen, Geraldo, I'm going to do this because every morning we have a little intro to the Geraldo Journal. Now, Ted has never done this, and this is going to be a dry read for him. Okay. But this is the little intro that we do every day. So, Ted, just look into that camera there as best you can. This is the intro to the Geraldo Journal that we do every day. And listen, Geraldo, I'm looking out for you. Phil Donahue's been on my show. Jerry Springer's been on my show.
Yes.
Sally Jesse Raphael's been on my show.
B. Arthur has been on his show.
B. Arthur, and yet we can't get Geraldo. What is wrong with the world? Geraldo, come on.
Geraldo Rivera
So here
is
comes
a legendary broadcast journalist who has opened Al Capone's vault on TV. He's gotten his nose broken while hosting a talk show. I remember that talk show too. Geraldo, they threw a chair at your butt. And has argued with about every host on Fox News.
Oh, he's nuts on there.
Is he really?
He's crazy.
Now, you're telling me something I don't know.
Oh.
And so I'd love to see you. So, now, fellow broadcaster Scott Spears has set his sights on interviewing the legendary broadcast figure. No reason for it. Come on, man. Everybody in Marion's looking forward to a nice interview with none other than the legendary Geraldo Rivera. I love it. Was I can't, this is, like you said, a cold read. Scott has interviewed broadcast talk show giants such as we mentioned, Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Jerry Springer, Dick Cavett, Cousin Brucey. Oh man, I remember him with the music, top 40.
Beautiful guy.
Gary Burbank, Dr. Ruth Westheimer. These are some of his guests, Geraldo, so you're no big shot when it comes to guests. And Joy Behar, Hugh Downs, Sam Donaldson, David Hartman, Dr. Demento, Charles Gordon, Helen Thomas, Willard Scott, and Larry King. Come on, you don't get any bigger than that.
Larry King's been here, and I can't get Geraldo. There's something wrong with him.
I don't know. What the hell is going on? Geraldo, where's Geraldo? You heard of Where's Waldo? Where's Geraldo?
Where's Geraldo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We should do that every morning.
Yeah. Where's Geraldo?
Where's Geraldo today?
Yeah. We want you, Geraldo.
We do.
Make sure you send him an email with it.
I'm going to send this to
I've been on this radio station for quite some time. I've been a friend, even longer, of Scott Spears and the company of WWGH, the lovely Angie. I've got Terry and Sean. These are some of our interns or whatever at this point. And great people. Great people. What's her dad's name?
Charlie was here.
Yeah,
Charlie
we got
Evers,
the
Buckeye
agricultural. Yeah, that's right. We've got the Buckeye guy. We've got Charlie. Come on, Geraldo.
Governor Strickland was here a couple weeks
Governor Strickland, my man. And we've even had Donald Trump. I talked to Trump. That's right, when he offered me a 1-year lease at Trump Towers in New York. And I can't get my Puerto Rican compadre, Mr. Geraldo Rivera, on Telemundo.
No. So Ted, we'll do this here. That was good. Now, just to see, because people think the Geraldo Journal is fake.
No, there it is.
There it is. So what I'm going to do, in Ted's golden voice,
yes,
we're going to go to a date. And this is going to be like a reading.
Okay.
So what we'll do, Ted, you just flip to a page in there,
okay,
and we'll get back to this intro later on.
Yeah.
But it's got us all worked up here on this Halloween show.
Yes.
That Geraldo has done this.
Come on,
just
the freaks
flip
come
to a
out
date, any date there, Ted,
any date, okay.
And read what the entry was that day.
The entry says
October 13th. Give us a date.
October 13th of this year, 2021. Did not hear from Geraldo. According to Twitter, Geraldo might be in Mexico on vacation. Let's see. Provocative photo on Twitter from Mexico.
Yeah, he had his shirt off, 78 years old, down there in Mexico showing pictures.
Really?
I charted that in the journal.
Yeah, I see that.
Flip to another date. Flip to any date there, Ted.
Here we go.
Flip to another date. Give us the date and the entry. There you go.
October 3rd. Did not hear from Geraldo.
Oh, that was a slow day.
Slow
news
day. All right, and I'm going to, a few days before my birthday, on September 16th, 2021, started Geraldo Journal. This journal. Started it and gave Geraldo's contact information. I was given that, and Geraldo went nuts on Twitter. 9:37 a.m. Eastern Time. WTAM. Oh. And then we've got Fox News number. These are all the contact information that we've received. Geraldo Rivera on foxnews.com. He's a predator. No, that's producer. WTAM. And no answer from Fox News. They couldn't give us nothing. WTAM, 11 a.m., 106.9 FM. 50,000 watts of pure power. And tried to pick up Geraldo. No, what is that?
Tried to pick up WTAM. No, tried to pick up the WTAM station, and we could not pick it up here. And they say they're 50,000 watts.
Yeah.
Give us one more date.
They were supposed to be a super station.
Yeah,
remember back in the day, a super station?
WLW.
In Cincinnati.
Nation Station.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's September 30th, and that's 15 days later. Did not hear from Geraldo. Geraldo is in...
let's see, Geraldo... let's see here. I have to read my. I have to get the glasses out for this journal entry.
He's got some engines.
Oh, he's involved in a new controversy.
Okay, new controversy for Geraldo. What else is new, Geraldo? Let's see. Hosting cops on, does he? On Fox, as people think it's racist. And we didn't hear from Rob. Maybe thinks I'm MAH? No.
Matt. He thinks I'm Matt. He called me Matt.
Oh, Matt, okay.
But here's the thing, Geraldo. Yeah, Geraldo. This will be good, Ted. Now, what do you think? A lot of people, when Geraldo started hosting Cops on the Fox network just a few days ago, people said that was
the syndicated program Cops.
Yeah, Bad Boys.
Yeah. Okay.
That Geraldo, that this was a racist program because most of the people arrested on Cops are black. Do you believe? What do you think?
No. It could be deemed as a modern day lynching, but unfortunately, this is what they capture. I don't think it's intended to be racist, but hell, black folks, come on now. We should show some Timothy McVeighs or anything of that nature, but that's just not happening, and it doesn't make an interesting show. You love to see some black man getting cuffed, put in a police car, and slated, but white guys is like, man, they go in silently.
Now, Ted, I don't mean to get into this, but you've been arrested.
Yes, many times.
What? Okay, well, insert the laughter there. No, many times. What is that experience like?
Well, depending on the crime itself, if you're trying to listen, the minute they detained me, I was, compliant. And all of those things, I didn't try to fight the cops. No, and this is way before the Rodney King thing. You're busted. You're wrong. And all of that. Yeah, plus God plays a part on it. Why are you going to sit here and get your butt whipped by the Columbus Police Department and all? But yeah.
Now, did you feel you were wrongly picked up at any point?
No.
No, you always knew you were.
Yeah. But see, there were many instances where this golden voice avoided prosecution in a couple instances, and judges, they liked how articulate I was, so I played on their sympathy, Ted, you're gonna do 60 days. The hell no. But see, I didn't do no crimes that I could not do to time. 18 months was the highest jail sentence that I got.
What was jail like for people who've never been there?
Jail is jail. No. Jail is not the most great place to be. I made it. You have to make jail what you want it to mean and be to you. You know what I mean? Don't go in there thinking you're a badass because somebody's in there that's been in there longer than what you are. You know what I'm saying? They're there to beat your butt. So, jail was. You want me to tell you what jail was?
Yes.
Just like the United States Army, serving in the Army, but I got no pass out.
Oh, so it's similar.
Yeah.
Now, what about this talk? We love these crime shows now, and they're always worried about, people in jail walking around with a shiv. I mean, is that reality? Shank.
Yeah.
I said
all right, you see, he did not see Shawshank Redemption.
I've never been in, but I'll look forward to that when I get in. Too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think Geraldo's been arrested a few times.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He should have been if he hasn't been.
He snatched a few purses that he's not too happy about.
But are people shanking people in prison?
Oh, in prison, yes.
Well, they are.
Without a doubt. Let's just say bad association spoils useful habits. If you're associated with, I went to London in Madison County. I went to London, Ohio, LCI, and I could not believe in the 90s that white people sat on one side and black people sat on another. And if I would have sat my ass on the Ku Klux Klan side or the white side, the supremacy side, the whatever side, I wouldn't have been accepted, by black folks, Puerto Ricans, or whatever, right? And just so happens, I do have a complexion that you don't know what the hell I am. So I sat my ass right on the white side, the black side, the Puerto Rican side, wherever I fit in, I get in where I fit in.
Let's say I'm going to prison and I wear this tie and this hanky. Now, how long do you think I'm going to last in the clink?
Before somebody tries to
put my
size you up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you'll be a candidate for rape or anything.
Oh, no.
But bully maybe, you know what I mean? I'll put it to you this way, Scotty. You look like a man who will have a lot of money or a favorable amount of money on your books. So I can see you going to the commissary or and getting a big bag or something. That's where you would be tested.
What? So I don't ever want to get
They'd
a
be
big
like,
bag.
Look at fat man. Look at fat man. Look, damn, he got cigarettes. He got all kind of shit. Want to check him? All right.
That's what happens in the prison.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very good note that you should not buy a lot of stuff.
Now they would do. Yeah. Well, that's true. It indicates that you got money.
Well, you don't want to do that.
But see, somebody will walk by you and slap you like that, and when you turn that way, there's a guy coming right on this side to snatch your bag.
Now, have you had this experience?
Hell no.
No, you watch out for that.
Listen, I was a state baby. Whatever you do, and you don't have no money, I made $18 a month. There's people in there that got other jobs. I worked in the kitchen, so I washed dishes and all. I made $18 a month. I ain't letting nobody take my little, the stuff I waited all month to buy, and then all of a sudden somebody gonna do that. Now I tell you what did happen was like, to me, I told you about me breaking potatoes and stuff. Some dude tried to check my manhood. I was ready to go to blow, but I might have lost it to a lifer. I was misclassified in a very high security, I had just left the hotel without paying the bill.
Oh, that's all you did?
That's all I did, and they put me in a prison that everybody was in for rape, murder, armed robberies, all kind of stuff. And here I am just for a little 12-month sentence with these people who are doing life, 42 years, 18 years. Nobody's got no month sentence.
Now, do you think this had anything to do with skin color? Because that's what the whole cops thing comes back to.
Oh, yeah.
Are people profiled?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If I ran out on the bill of a hotel, would they come after me and imprison me?
No.
Yeah.
No, none whatsoever.
Why is that there?
And it's probably menial crimes that black people commit, that they're treated like that, Ain't no damn good well if somebody went in there and stole a hair dryer, that they, because I used to go to Sally's Beauty Supply and rack up, boy, really. I'll tell you another high theft item back in the day.
What'd you get from Sally's?
Hair curling irons, dryers, hair dryers, and stuff like that.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, curler. Whatever. I'll put it to you this way. I'd go up to Angie and say, Angie, what you want? You need anything from Sally? She'd say, yeah, give me some nail polish, give me some, things like that. Boom, I'll come back to Angie in about an hour. Here you go, baby. I'd have a bunch of stuff. And she said, what do you want for all this? I said, well, Angie, I'm going to tell you the truth. $40, that's all I need. For the hair dryer and everything else? Okay, bam, bam, bam. I get that and go get me a hotel room.
Now, what was the other high theft area?
I would go to some of the pharmacy stores. I don't want to say.
Don't want to say the name, sure, no. But a pharmacy.
But and I would get body washes, oil of Olay, Dove. Those were.
I know all about oil of Olay.
Yeah.
I can't get into that at this point.
I'd get body washes, shampoos, soaps. Everybody wanted that Caress. I'd get like 25 bars of Caress.
So at this point, Ted,
then I'd be on bad boy, bad boy.
Which we come back to the point. You just celebrated a birthday.
Yes.
Do you mind what age?
I'm 64 years old.
64 years old. Now, have you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish in life? Is this a turning point birthday?
I'd have to say yes. I've lived my dreams early on, prior to my crack addiction and all of the arrests that we made mention today. I have lived my dream. I've met Lionel Richie. Everybody thinks that, this is my first time around with celebrities. I've met Prince. I've interviewed Prince. We were talking about this yesterday. David Ruffin, Eddie Kendricks, The Temptations, when I was in Cleveland, ironically. But all the rap stars, everything. I've lived my dream.
Right. Well, that is a wonderful thing. Now, who was the biggest? Who was the biggest star? Your all-time greatest.
My all-time great interview or just meeting in passing?
Well, let's do both.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Will Smith in California, when all of this first happened, I seen him in a grocery store. And he recognized me before I could even get Will Smith out of my mouth. And he was like, I take that back. Kobe Bryant.
Oh, the late Kobe Bryant.
Yes, Kobe Bryant. when all of this first happened, Entertainment Tonight had Ron Artest, who at the time was known as World Peace Meadow, and Kobe Bryant. And Kobe took a helicopter flight down to the Staples Center to meet me. It's on YouTube, yeah. Kobe Bryant.
Now, when you heard that terrible day,
oh man,
that
I was crushed.
He's dead with his daughter.
Yeah.
In a was on a plane crash.
It made me think about a lot of things. Karma. It made me think about how great do you think you are. Even when Michael Jackson died, he was an idol. And the Bible says, I will not have any idols before me. And people idolize this man. Prince, Whitney Houston. When I hear of all these...
Elvis Presley.
Truly.
John Lennon.
Oh, the list goes on. Jimi Hendrix.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams, the biggest hurt of my life.
Now, is this a foregone conclusion, Ted? With if you get to a certain level of celebrity, that inevitably something bad is going to happen.
Well, yeah, when you really feel that you're above, there's no other God. God says, idolize nothing, including yourself, your wife. Don't put nothing before me. Nothing. And I think what happened to me at the time, I made $62,000 a year in the 70s. 62 grand, that's radio.
Yeah.
62,000, I made $1,700 a week.
And you were on what station then?
WVOE in Chadburn, North Carolina.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And
I was a program director, and I made $1,700 a week. And my father didn't even make $500 a week.
What do you attribute that success to? Because you didn't go to a broadcast school.
No.
What?
My persistence.
Yeah.
I was going to live my dream regardless. Now I knew it wasn't going to be by way of sports because I was a hell of a ball player now, and I was a hell of a bowler.
Baseball,
that's correct. I played first base, and I was a beast, man. I got shot in my leg, and ruined by a woman, a jealous woman.
I never heard about this. Is this in this book?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what surprises me, and we'll get back to this story in a second because we want to learn about Ted's persistence in getting in radio. It's a good story for kids.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is...
Live your dreams, kids.
Until recently, I did not know this, and I guess you just never think about it, but before this, Ted Williams became a national personality. Ted Williams, a baseball player, certainly national personality.
That's right.
And a lot of times when you Google Ted Williams, you'll get the baseball player, not the golden voice. And I never dreamed that there was a connection. But there it.
I did. I played baseball, and with a name like that, Ted Williams, and I found out who he was. I was a Mickey Mantle fan, and I loved Mickey Mantle. I loved Roger Maris. I loved Willie Mays and all those boys back in the day. Now I played for my father to hear the lineup over the PA system. Now batting for the East New York Yankees, number 9, Ted Williams. And my father, that's my boy, that kind of thing. And I was outstanding. I had 272 home runs one season. And I'm talking about boys were throwing 70 miles an hour. They weren't throwing like they're throwing now. These boys today, they're throwing 102 miles an hour, 92 miles an hour. And one of them balls hits you, and I've been hit by a mini ball, it'll injure you. I didn't get that way. So I was in a nightclub dancing with another woman. And I got to admit, back in the 70s, they had real slow records. So I was with the girl and I was grinding. I was getting it on, bro. We was like, hey. And this girl came up with a 25 automatic and was aiming it at my head.
Oh, she didn't want to dance.
I didn't ask her to dance. Somebody came by and hit her. And when they hit her, on the angle, the gun went off and popped me in the leg right here, right in the calf. 22.
Ended the baseball career.
Yeah, I dropped down to my knees, and then it felt real warm. And the blood started trickling down my leg and everything. Everybody else saw me when I dropped to my knees. They thought I was shot in the leg, which I was.
You were.
But they thought maybe it was a vital organ that and I laid down. And that ended it. Because I'll tell you why. When you play first base, you have to be able to stretch off the bag. Sometimes you've got shortstops and second basemen and even a third baseman that can't throw, so you kind of help them out with your stretch, your arm. And your legs pretty much have to be on the bag. And I mean, you got to catch it, and stretch along like I can't now. But that's because I'm 64.
Now, did you go out with your kids and grandkids and hit the ball around?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun thing to do.
My daughters, yeah.
So, but
my daughter can catch a ball with her bare hands.
She caught the dad's genes.
Yeah, she did.
Now, just to clarify, you were named by your parents for Ted Williams, the baseball player.
That's right. My dad named me Ted Williams.
For Ted Williams, the
legendary baseball player, who happens to be the last person to have a lifetime batting average of over 400. And he was a beast, man, for the Boston Red Sox.
Absolutely. Now, coming back to persistence and living your dream, tell the kids and everybody else who's right now working in a menial job that they don't want to do, but they want to do something.
Continue to pursue your dreams. Whatever you want to do, continue. If you fail, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Don't let any grass grow under your feet. And by all means, keep God first. Pray about it, and feel good and believe that your prayer is being heard. I'm not telling you to exercise your faith or anything like that. Well, exercise your faith, but I'm just saying I'm not trying to convert you into any Christianity of any sorts, but believe in God. The Bible says the faith of a mustard seed will move mountains. It did. I had a very wide variety of religious choices. I went to parochial school, which happened to be Catholic, Seventh-day Adventist. I went to a Lutheran school. My father was a practicing Jehovah's Witness, and my mother was a devout Baptist. So I had a wide variety of spiritual skills and my thoughts of Christianity. But trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not toward your own understanding, but pursue your dreams with God involved. You can't do it without God, regardless. Thank God, kids, for your mommy, your daddy. Thank God you have 5 fingers and 5 toes. There's a lot of people that don't have 5 fingers or didn't wake up this morning. Take advantages of your choices each day. Sacrifice. Do something less for God and do more for yourself by praying to Him, and let Him know that you do believe in Him. Regardless if you don't see it every day like you'd like to, He's there listening.
So when you were that kid, wanted to work in radio, went to North Carolina, how'd you get in with no experience?
Well, no, I went in the military.
You went in the military?
Yeah, that's where I got my experience. I wanted to learn everything, man. I worked at a Mars station in South Korea, and I wanted to learn everything. Of course, it wasn't my dreams to go to a military radio. You're listening to AFKN, the American Forces Korean Network. And what we did was, remember Casey Kasem?
Yes.
I played top 40 albums. Back then they came in on album. And I would run the syndication over the airwaves. And if anybody wanted to know what was happening in the United States, Casey was the one to do it, with his dedications and all.
So when you headed to North Carolina...
No.
Oh, Elvira. Yeah. So when you headed to North Carolina, how did you get in?
I was at a grocery store, and somebody said, "There's Doc Holliday." Believe it or not, this guy had a name, Doc Holliday. And I didn't know who the hell Doc Holliday was. I was in the market, and so they said, "You don't know Doc, man, that's the dude, that's that bad dude." And he was one of those DJs. He was Afternoon Drive, and he was the program director and the music director. And he was there, and then I said, "You're listening to the Doc Holliday Show." And that man turned around and heard me, and I wanted to do that. And he said, "Hey, brother, how are you?" I said, "I'm fine, sir." I said, "I don't know exactly who you are, but my friends are telling me that you're the man at WVOE. He said, "That's very kind of you, man. Nice to meet you." He said, "Are you in radio here?" And then he said to me, "No, you can't be, because you're none of my competition or anything." He said, "Why don't you, are you working in radio anywhere?" I said, "No." "Why not?" We got into this conversation, and he invited me to the radio station. Man, when I saw the real civilian radio station, that reminded me of my very first, I told you, the very first person I met in radio broadcasting was Frankie Crocker and Hank Spann. But Hank did not look like he had that voice. Hi, everybody in New York. It's 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'm Hank Span, baby. And he would throw a card in and you'd hear, Hank Span on WWIL. You know, and I just pictured him to be this tall, cool dude. But he came and he was like, hey, he was Miss Thang. You know, I couldn't believe it that this guy was, I mean, the way he walked into the area, he did his little thing. I said, that ain't fucking, that ain't Hank Span. Happy Halloween. That's my next costume next year, because I'm gonna wear a costume.
Hank Span.
No, a transvestite.
Oh, a transvestite. No, so this Halloween you will be.
I'm going to be Bob Nunnally.
Bob Nunnally.
Yeah.
Big Bob.
Big Bob Nunnally.
Man, he's a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy to be reckoned with. I love Bob.
We had some run-ins with Bob.
Yeah, Big Bob. I told you last time you told me, you said, there have been people who have died pronouncing my name correctly. And I said, Nunnally? Yeah.
How do you say the man's name?
Nunnally.
Nunnally.
Yeah, you put that Nunnally.
Nunnally.
Nunnally. That's right.
He's like, remember when John Chancellor became John Chancellor? I don't know. If people get, I don't know, it's a money.
Brian Gumble?
Gumble.
Okay.
No, but so.
I called him Gumball for a while.
Oh, he wouldn't like that.
No.
I hear Brian had a little bit of a temper.
Yeah, Brian was a piece of work.
What do you make of Katie Couric's new tell-all book? Telling it all on everybody.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. She's on the cover of People magazine this week.
Okay.
Would you ever write a tell-all?
Well, you know, I'm working on a one-man show.
One-man?
It's going to talk about Dr. Phil. It's going to talk about Steve Harvey. It's going to talk about Monique. Monique, there was an interesting interview when I went on her show. I tell you why. When I used to look at, well, I'll find him later. When I used to look at Monique on TV, one of the things that really, really made me laugh more than anything was when she would be interviewing Scott, my brother, is what she would always say, my brother. So for me to sit in the seat next to her, and when she said my brother, I don't know why they didn't put it out on YouTube, but I cracked up, because it was what we were talking about. I always used to say, why Monique say, my brother? And so what happened was, I told Monique I do a lot of work and not get paid for it because I want to give back. She looked at me and said, my brother, there's a time and a place to do free work. Get all the damn money you can because you don't know how long this is going to last. When she told me that made a lot of sense. So, you know, get it as much as you can.
You know, unfortunately, though, Monique got into a dispute about money with Netflix, and it's kind of ended her career.
Yeah, what was that? And I was on her show when she was on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
What was the lady?
Monique?
No, the one she did, she had in comedy.
Oh, yes, Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. I went on her show.
Now, what's she like?
She was okay. I tell you what, but some of the stupid stuff that I did, you ever see that?
I didn't see the Amy Schumer.
Oh, yeah, the Amy Schumer was on Comedy Central, and I was on it. Then I went to, what's that guy's name? Todd? I mean, not, you know who I'm talking about. Help me out there, Angie. He had a comedy show that, damn it, everybody says, somebody, man, he was a real popular guy who did crazy stuff. He showed a lot of videos that the kids submitted it to him. Oh man, what is this guy's name? Anyway,
he was on Comedy Central.
He was on Comedy Central. Oh man, he was one of the most popular shock guys. I'm not talking about Howard Stern. Fuck Stern. This guy.
Not a
Howard Stern.
Not a Howard Stern fan.
Kiss my hand.
Right now, what?
No, I don't like Howard Stern the way he did that girl Dana Plato.
Oh, from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dana Plato, of course, got caught up with drugs and all, and then she ended up in porn, and then she got clean and sober. Well, lo and behold, Stern had her on there and shot her down, and she committed suicide the next day.
That is a tragedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
he picked on, just like who the other day tore up the Today Show green room, Chris Brown.
Yeah. Well, he's.
Well, why would they get Chris Brown on something, question him about that domestic violence with Rihanna, and that's 3 or 4 years? Why are you sitting up here trying to focus on that part of it. And he's got new albums. He's been on a lot of people's albums. He's writing. He's doing great constructive things, good things, and all. And the first thing you want to come out is, why he got, why did he kick her butt?
Well, that's a good question. Can you ever, in the world of Google, live down anything?
Well, yeah, and you know what? I'm so glad you, and I would only do it probably for you, and my own show, my own podcast, which you can download on radiofreenetwork.com. But it's called The Golden Voice Show. And similarity in our backdrops, too.
Do you feel at home?
Yeah, I feel at home.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I always feel at home here in Marion with you. But, yeah, that'd be just like me going on the show. Here's the man with the golden voice, Ted Williams, and then say, Ted, that 1993 arrest, I'd go off too. I wouldn't tear up the green room, but, I'll be like, what the hell you asking me something like that for? Why don't you talk about the charities I give to? Things.
Well, it's interesting because I think the far greater...
Do you see my glasses down here?
Yeah, they're down there.
Oh.
They're down there. Are they right over there?
Where?
To the right?
To the right.
To the right. All right, the glasses are good. Got it.
Hey, I can see
Hey.
now. I can see clearly now. Hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what I was going to say, the questions that are more interesting to me is when you ask somebody 64 years of age, did you have any regrets?
I wish I would have listened to my father, many times. My father's advice was, save your money. And I tell you what, he had an influence on a lot of my friends who have managed to do so. My father used to always say, show me $1. Whenever he would say, like if he walked in here right now and say, hey daddy, this is my man, he'd say, can you show me $1? And if you could not go in your pocket, I don't care if you had what you had, if you couldn't say, well, Mr. Williams, in these days we don't carry money, I got my card. He wouldn't care about you.
He really?
He radio station owner and all that. If you don't show him $1 that you have $1, if you showed him 20 or whatever, that would be suffice. But if my friends, he'd say, anybody, I said, Daddy, here's my friends, can they come in? Yeah, if they could show me $1. If they couldn't show them, they couldn't come in my house.
Now, did like a group of them line up and just show the same $1 as they were walking back and forth?
No, they'd all have to pull it out of their pocket every time they walked through.
Because he was very stern.
Oh, yeah.
Very stern man. We never met your father.
He also said, get you a white woman.
Well, this is your father's advice.
Yeah, get you a white woman or get you some white friends. This is before comedy became comedy about Cat Williams and Bernie Mac and all of them would say, make sure you've got some white friends. And I would look at him like, I wasn't raised, enough to know the culture well and all, but he worked with white people and treated them like they were the finest of wine.
Bee's knees.
Yeah.
The bee's knees. Well, that's interesting because what do you think it is?
The guy's name was Todd, that show I was talking about.
Todd. I don't remember this
show. It was a comedy. He did some shocking things.
What happened when you went on this show?
Oh, he was crazy. He said, Ted Williams. And I said, wait a minute. Okay, and when his name comes to me, you'll know who I'm talking about.
I'm certain. Well, it's one of those things. When you went on all these shows, what is the one that sticks out in your mind the most?
The Today Show with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza. I'll never forget that for as long as I live.
Why is that the one?
Well, the day before it, I was a crackhead. I was smoking crack on 71 in Hudson, and my girlfriend was, selling her body, and, we were homeless and all of that, and I hadn't seen my mother in 17 years, and I had a chance to get to New York, man.
24 hours later, you're doing the opening on the Today Show.
Oh, couldn't believe it. And last but not least, I didn't think I would ever see my mother again, because every time I went to jail or wherever I was in my silent moments, I would pray to God to please help me change my smile, these are veneers, and see my mom. I wanted some new teeth because the Army, when you're separated from the military, you got 1 year to take advantage of dental, benefits. 1 year. I bypassed that. I had no other kind of medical insurance, Medicaid or nothing, to help me get a new smile. And lo and behold, Dr. Brian Kavitko in Clintonville in Columbus, Ohio, gave me a new smile. Now, Dr. Phil was going to change my smile as well, on his syndicated program, which was run by his son-in-law, the doctors, Grossman was his name, Dr. Grossman. But every time I sat down in the dentist chair to start work, they needed another drop. It was like, hey kid, can we use you again? You're watching The Doctors on NBC. Go back. It was too much and I walked out. Dr. Phil was hot. He was more hotter than me he was more hotter at me leaving the Doctors production crew than he was when I told him, man, you look like a birthday cake. He had so much makeup on, you look like you could have taken a knife or putty. I just never looked at somebody and just looked and seen how thick on their eyelids was makeup and in the crack of his mouth so much makeup. I just wanted to take a scraper or something.
Now, what's it like to be yelled at by Dr. Phil?
Ted, I want to tell you, you don't have to talk to me like that, This is my show. It's not your show. If you want to go smoke your money up with crack and whores, then you can do that. But don't come on my show hollering at me that you had to get off the landing because I don't want nobody to see me without my makeup. To hell with you.
Now, was he a helpful guy?
He wasn't shit.
Really? Wow.
If I can be honest.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Dr. Oz was a great guy.
Wow.
Dr. Phil, I don't know, man.
So you would not want to have a reunion with Dr.
Hell no.
No? You won't be like...
Hey, Dr. Phil got my kids. It was noted that I was ordering Grey Goose. I had $20,000 in my pocket. Burning my pocket, burning my hand. And my kids were in Hollywood. And so we're just having a ball, thanks to Dr. Phil. But somebody told him that I was drinking Grey Goose and coffee, which I must admit, if you're a drinker, Grey Goose and coffee tastes great. And it has a name, Goofy. But yeah.
You can get recipes on this. We enjoy. So Dr. Phil was not happy about this.
No, he wasn't. It was like, who ordered the Grey Goose? And then you got these kind of reactions from my kids.
Oh.
Next on the Dr. Phil show.
Now he brought wasn't it ex-wife and kids on that show?
Yeah.
What, you didn't know about that?
No.
Now what did you think when you're there?
I thought I was set up. Because I didn't know how my kid. Well, me and my one daughter, we had a fight. You know that.
Yeah, there was a little bust up there.
Yeah,
a little
man.
Dust up.
I slapped shit out of her, and she threw an ice bucket at me. And Dr. Phil loved it because that's where the Who Ordered the Grey Goose, because they wanted to make believe that. They wanted me to believe that it was the Grey Goose that started everything. But I'm not gonna have no child of mine throw no ice bucket at me just because they think I was pissed off that they spent $1,000 for a Louis Vuitton purse that was only this big. They went on Rodeo Drive, man, and wanted everything. Louis Vuitton and Versace and all this stuff. And the purse was this big.
Now
$975.
Now, today, are you in close contact with all of your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, my grandchildren and all.
Everything's been forgotten.
Yeah.
Forgive and forget.
Well, they know not to disrespect me no more.
Well, you don't throw any ice buckets.
Yeah, don't throw nothing at me.
None of the grandkids have done that, have they?
No.
No, we don't need that.
Man,
spare the rod and spoil the child.
Spoil the child. My father was a disciplinarian.
Now, your mother, God bless her, your mother was such a wonderful woman, lived to
96.
96 years old.
Yeah.
One of the most proper women I've ever seen.
She was a good girl, yeah.
But there was a deathbed confession with your mother, was there not?
Yes, there was. There was of my heritage or my ethnicity or where I come from. I was always under the impression that I was black and Puerto Rican. My father was an African American and my mother was Hispanic. Well, that's what I tell people from time to time. And I've never questioned her throughout my lifetime. Mommy,
she had hit you?
My mother.
If you would have questioned her, would she have?
Well, she would have been like, well, she did tell me when I was young. She would tell me, because I was always under the impression that being that I was adopted, I was given up. Why did my mother give me up? Now the kids have answers for those questions. Oh, your mother was on crack. Oh, your mother was a prostitute. Oh, your mother couldn't take care of you. Back then, my mother couldn't afford me. So my mother, I was always in the impression something else was wrong. So I would have taken food out of the other kids' mouths. So she gave me to a better home, And so with that being said, I am Puerto Rican. Can't speak a bit of Spanish. Not bilingual of any stretch of the imagination. But my father was not African American. From what my mother told me, he was Filipino.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, on her deathbed,
She told me that.
she revealed that.
She revealed that. Now, I don't know whether she was suffering from a little bit of dementia, Parkinson's, or many other of those. But she ain't never told me I was any kind of Filipino.
You went in
Asian.
So did you ask her a question?
No, she asked me, what do you tell people you are? I'm I'm just curious, honey. After all these years and I'm looking at you and I can see, something about what I know you are, and you've never asked me through the ages, I've never given you this information. What do you tell people you are? And my father was always, whatever people say that you are, and that's what you are. So if you were to say, you look like you're Peru, from South America, I would say, I'm South American. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would say, yeah, that's what, I'm Hawaiian. People have thought I was Hawaiian. People thought I was Vietnamese. Now there have been more Asian culture than anything else. Oh. Hey, next time you want to drink, Goofy. No, I'm just kidding. They're like, Ted relapsed on Scott Spears' show. Hello, Scott Spears.
Watch it. We're going to do a little bit of Halloween trivia here, and then we're going to take a short break, and then Christmas will be coming up.
Hey, how many people out there, and I'm just curious, how many people out there give fruit as don't give no damn child a big old heavy bag of fruit. Here's an apple, here's an orange. I mean, it's a great healthy thing to give, but give them what they're used to.
What do you
break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar?
What's your favorite candy?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Three Musketeers.
Snickers?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I love Payday and Snickers, yeah.
Okay. But trivia here, Ted. Halloween trivia here.
Okay, Halloween trivia.
In which country did Halloween originate?
Transylvania.
Ireland. Ireland. Which Catholic...
I didn't see that in Braveheart.
You didn't see... That was in the early... the previews. Which Catholic church holiday is Halloween linked to?
Catholic.
Yeah. All Saints' Day.
Okay.
All Saints' Day. What is the name of Dracula's sidekick?
I have no idea.
Rhinefield.
Okay, Rochester.
Rhinefield, yeah. From which words did bonfire originate?
Here on the west side. No, I'm just...
Bone and fire.
Bone and fire.
Bone and fire. This is interesting.
Cremation.
What does the name Dracula mean?
Oh, that's a good one. No, I don't know.
Son of the devil.
Oh shit! And I always wanted to be Dracula.
Oh shoot!
Shoot!
Shuts.
Did any of you guys know it?
All right. Final one here. Let's see. Let's find it.
Let's see if Angie and Sean over here can answer the question.
Here's a good one. Which phobia means you have an intense fear of Halloween?
Candylitis. No.
Sanahinophobia. Sanahinophobia.
That sounds like a baseball party.
Sanahinophobia. Well, Ted, it's always fun to be with you, and Christmas is right around the corner. We'll have a Christmas special, which everybody's going to want to... Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
We've got all kinds of great stuff planned, but for this...
Listen, let me ask you a question.
Oh, please do. Go right ahead.
Halloween, right? You gave all this little trivia and everything. What is a Halloween song? They never had a theme or anything like that.
Well, there's a song. You remember this one? There was an old woman, all skin and bones. Ooh, you know, do that thing?
No.
That's
a Marion thing.
Can you make that noise, Ted?
What?
Ooh. Okay, here we go. Yeah, when I point to you, say that, and we'll go through the whole song.
All right.
Okay, here we go. There was an old woman, all skin and bones. Ooh. She lived down by the old graveyard. Ooh. She saw some bones a-laying around. Well, we're having some Halloween. She cried when she saw those bones a-laying around. She went back to get a broom. She opened the door and boom! Oh, that's the song.
There you go. Halloween song. Make sure you get it. It's on A&M Records on Amazon.
Now, Ted, say Happy Halloween to the kids out there. Give them some advice.
Kids, Happy Halloween. And remember, the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. Yeah.
For the man with the golden voice, Ted William, I'm Scott Spears. Happy Halloween. We're heading for
Don't
the
forget
dugout.
Angie and Sean.
Sean are here. That's right. Sean running the
Cameraman
camera.
Sean and the lovely technician here, Miss Angie.
Angie doing still photography. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.